I may get some criticism for saying this, but I honestly think that it's a waste of paper resources just to follow tradition. 新年明けましておめでとうございます。Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to Let's Ask Shogo. The New Year's season, called お正月 in Japanese, is the most important time of the year for Japanese families. It's the holiday season when families gather and spend time together. Because it's such an important time of the year, there are many unique traditions. So today, I will introduce 7 basic things that many families in Japan do during the New Year's season. All 7 traditions are very important. So I hope you can watch till the end to find out which one was the most interesting for you. それでは本編も参りましょう。Number 1. The decorations. There are 3 different decorations we put up during the New Year's season. The kadomatsu, the shimekazari, and the kagamimochi. Maybe you have seen these before in Japanese manga and anime. These 3 items are meant to welcome or to be dedicated to the Toshigami-sama. Toshigami-sama is a Shinto god that is believed to visit each house at the beginning of the year and give everyone good luck and happiness. Toshigami-sama is the god of grain. So in ancient times, he was originally worshipped to wish for that year's good harvest. This tradition still remains today. The kadomatsu is meant for a landmark when the Toshigami-sama descends to our homes. It is made from pines and bamboo. Pines are symbols of vitality that do not lose their greenness even in winter. And bamboo grows very fast, so it represents longevity and prosperity. It is a landmark, so it is originally meant to be placed outside your front door. But many people nowadays live in apartments, so in that case, you have to place it somewhere inside the house instead, so it doesn't get in other people's way. Next, the shimekazari. This has the same meaning as the shimenawa of a shrine, which is to create a barrier that separates the sacred area from this world. By decorating the shimekazari, it creates a sanctuary to welcome the Toshigami-sama, so he can descend with peace of mind. It is placed under the eaves of the front door, or on the front door directly. But again, some apartments regulate decorating anything outside. So in that case, you can place it inside the house too. However, it must be placed at a position high enough so that you can walk underneath it for it to function as a barrier. Lastly, the kagamimochi. This is meant for an offering to the Toshigami-sama and an object where he resides. From long ago, mochi is thought of as a sacred food because it is made by putting together rice grains, which are all made by the power of gods. The round shape with no corners is meant to wish home peace. And stacking 2 pieces represents the sun and the moon, or yin and yang. The mochi should be placed on a sheet of Japanese calligraphy paper, and if possible, also on a small offering stand. Formally, the kagamimochi should be decorated on the shrine of the house, or the tokonoma, which is a certain place provided in the guest rooms among Japanese houses. However, in most houses today, there are no shrines or tokonoma, so in that case, just a table is fine. At the end of the New Year's season, after you see off the Toshigami-sama, you can lower the kagamimochi and eat it together with your family to receive the power of good luck. You can start decorating these ornaments anytime after December 13th, but most people will recently decorate them after Christmas. However, there are 2 days you should avoid choosing as the day you start decorating. One day is the 29th, because in Japanese, 29 is read nijuku, which is a homonym of nijuku, which can mean something like much pain and suffering. The 31st should also be avoided, as it's the last day of the year. It's almost like you forgot to do the decorations by not being ready in advance. This is regarded as a very rude attitude to the Toshigami-sama. Also, ceremonies that aren't prepared in advance will be associated with funerals because you can't predict a person's passing. Lastly, the decorations will be taken away and burned at certain places like shrines to see off the Toshigami-sama back to heaven on fixed dates. January 15th in the Kansai region, like Osaka, Nara, and Kyoto, and January 7th in most places everywhere else. It is believed that the date was originally January 15th nationwide, but when a great fire happened in current Tokyo in 1657 during the Edo period, the shogunate made a rule to take away the decorations by the 7th. If you don't have any place to burn it near your house, or can't take it to the shrines for some reason, you can simply wrap everything in paper and throw it away. It seems the Toshigami-sama is a very generous god. Whew, that was a lot of information. This is still number 1. I hope I still have people watching and not fainting. Number 2, the postcard. The postcard we send to each other's homes in the New Year's season is called nengajo in Japanese. In the past, during the New Year's season, there was a custom where you would visit the homes of the people who were indebted to you to say your greetings for the new year. However, since it is difficult to greet the people who live far away, it became a custom to issue a greeting card, which became the current nengajo. You usually write and send them before the new year comes, so it will be delivered on January 1st. However, to be honest, I think that the younger generations in their 20s or younger don't write nengajo anymore, unless it's business related or they are forced to. This is because we have smartphones now. We could just simply say our greetings on the phone or over text. There are some people, especially the elderly, who try to force others to write nengajo because it is how it should be done. I may get some criticism for saying this, but I honestly think that it's a waste of paper resources just to follow tradition. It's a complete mismatch with this era with phones and computers, and it is very inefficient. The important part is to express your gratitude to the people who care for you or helped you, and not the card itself. I understand that the older generations who cannot use difficult devices will still do this to keep in touch with old friends. But if not, no one should be forced to do this. Number 3, the first sunrise. The first sunrise is the sun that rises on the morning of January 1st, called Hatsuhinode in Japanese. At the beginning of a new year, the first sun seen on New Year's Day is auspicious, and it is said that the Toshigami-sama, the god of grain I talked about earlier, will descend. Even today, people will go to places with a good view from the night of December 31st on New Year's Eve to worship the rising sun on New Year's Day. I remember when I was small, every year in a New Year's season, my family on my father's side would book a big hotel in Hiroshima, where the top floor restaurant is famous for the view of the first sunrise. It was really hard for me to wake up early in the morning, but I do remember that the sun was especially beautiful, and it was a very happy time of the year, with everyone there clapping and drinking as they welcomed the starting of a new year. Number 4, greetings. Huh? Suddenly just greetings? You might think from all the difficult traditions I've been explaining so far. But this is super important. Greetings are always essential in Japanese culture, but the New Year's greeting is especially something you must not forget. 新年明けましておめでとうございます。今年もよろしくお願いします。My parents would kill me if I wouldn't say this to my relatives and friends with a loud and clear voice. And for adults, it's important that you greet your boss at work and your clients. It's a way to keep a decent relationship with the people around you, expressing your gratitude and respect. In other words, if you don't say your New Year's greetings, you will not be seen as a mature person in Japan. I most certainly will immediately call all my relatives when the new year comes. Number 5. Food. Finally, everyone, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. The topic about food. There are mainly 2 things you eat, especially during the New Year season. They are osechi and ozoni. Osechi is a special dish eaten during the New Year season to wish for prosperity and luck for the family. The ingredients vary depending on the region, but there are 20 to 30 types in total. They each have different meanings to wish for prosperity, happiness, luck, and so on. The ingredients will be stuffed in a special stacking box meant to represent the overlapping of happiness. Ozoni is a soup dish using mochi, radish, carrots, and leek. This meal was originally meant to be eaten on New Year's Day, made by the mochi dedicated to the Toshigami-sama, the first water of the year drawn from wells, and cooked with the first fire of the year. I've never heard of someone going by these rules today, but it is definitely a dish everyone enjoys during the New Year's season. And it is interesting that the shape of the mochi, the ingredients, and the flavor of the soup all differ depending on the region. In Kyoto, we use white miso to make the soup and round-shaped mochi. I loved visiting my grandmother's house in Kyoto every year to eat her delicious ozoni with mochi she made herself. Number 6. The first visit to a shrine or temple. This tradition is called Hatsumode in Japanese, and the purpose is to express your gratitude for the previous year and to pray for peace and safety for the new year. It is said that this tradition started in the Edo period, and most people visit a shrine or temple near their home between the date of New Year's Day to January 7th. However, the shrines and temples will be super busy and crowded due to the large number of people, so I usually try to go as late as possible. Number 7. Money gifts. In the New Year's season, there's a tradition of adults giving their children and their relatives' children money to celebrate the new year. However, this was originally a tradition of giving mochi to each other, again because it is thought that mochi are sacred foods. Eventually though, in the period of high economic growth of the 1950s to 70s, people started to hand money instead, and only to children. So for kids in Japan, it is the most exciting time of the year. My friends, who had a lot of relatives, were rich for just a week during the New Year's season. However, my mother is from Kyoto, and she was very strict with relationships with other people and how people around you will see you. So she would take away all the money I received and used it to send gifts back to the relatives. So for me, otoshidama was just me receiving money and saying thank you as happily as possible to please my relatives and delivering it to my mother. So then lastly, today's conclusion. I introduced 7 traditions of the New Year's season in Japan that many families celebrate. Number 1, the decorations. We decorate the kagomatsu, the shimekazari, and the kagami-mochi to welcome and to dedicate to the Toshigami-sama, the Shinto god that brings luck to each household in New Year. Number 2, the postcard. We send nengajo to each other as greetings for the New Year. Number 3, the first sunrise. The sun that rises on the morning of January 1st is auspicious, and it is believed that the Toshigami-sama will descend. Number 4, greetings. The New Year's greetings is something you must do to express your gratitude and respect. Number 5, food. We eat osechi and ozoni, which are both meant to wish good luck of the year. Number 6, the first visit to a shrine or temple. We visit a nearby shrine or temple to express our gratitude for the previous year and to pray for safety and peace for the new year. Number 7, money gifts. Children will receive money gifts from parents or relatives as a New Year's celebration. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If this video answers any questions you had about New Year in Japan, please hit the like button to let me know. And it will be great if you can share this video to your friends and family. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video. 本年も何卒よろしくお願いいたします。